to Team Angie. I'm team member Aaron Glenn, private personal consultant, also advocate for mental health awareness. And I'm all about awareness. Teach you guys tips and tools, also tricks to manage stress and anxiety. Give you guys an outlet to be free from the stress, the worries of the world, and also a little bit of awareness of how not to be of the world, but the renewing of the mind to change your reality and outlook of the world. So you won't be caught up in the traps of the world. Especially with this social media stuff. This right here, what I'm gonna share with y'all, is a prime example of how not to get caught up in this worldly things. It's a prime example of being authentic, being yourself. This guy right here, what I'm about to show you in this video, could have took a long lesson from this video, from this message, nevertheless. But things happen, and just praying for the best. But let me know what y'all think about this after we review and see what's really going on with the world. I'm gonna run this back, and then we gonna see what we got to say about it. It's just like a few minutes. I'm gonna break it in half a little bit from time to time. So yeah, just bear with me.
What you're doing is you're selling me a load of bullshit.
There was a fourth person, and
This is 26-year-old Stephen Monroe, arguably one of the most suspects the detectives have ever encountered. He's accused to death 16-year-old Noah Smith during a gang fight. The detective wastes no time. Detectives thought instead they're about to be met with even more arrogance and a twist they never saw.
that's what I can tell you.
What caliber gun did you shoot then?
I didn't shoot any gun.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
On January 12, 2022, 26-year-old Stephen Monroe, 20-year-old Tyrese Patterson, and 16-year-old Devondre Wilson live circled the Anderson Street several times, seemingly looking for trouble. Around 10 p.m., Patterson opened fire at Terrell Sampson, Ed Sampson's brother. Gunfire. In the chaos, Terrell's friend, 16-year-old Smith, stepped outside his house, completely unaware of the ongoing gang conflict. A bullet struck him. Finally, months after he was in custody, Stephen was brought into the interrogation room, where the pressure of the situation began to pressed for answers. Stephen did his best to manipulate that truth. Slowly began to surface.
So things that we want to talk about here today is
So that was a lot to take in, right? It was a whole lot. It make you think like, is their lifestyle really worth it? You know what they be rapping about, singing about? It's like so enticing. They want to glamorize the violence, glamorize the lifestyle, talk about influencers, celebrities, and the people who affected the most is the youth, the YNs, right? Everybody on Instagram doing everything for the cameras. They doing it for the cloud, you know, for their viral moment. And at the end of the day, it's all a persona, a persona that they really can't keep up with. Just being a send off, right? Not being mindful of who you around and where they're headed. That's why I like to talk about mental health awareness a lot because people are hurting. A lot of people are hurting, and everybody deal with their pain differently. Some people disguise their pain, and some people deal with it head on. But nevertheless, there was a lot of troubled young men around each other. One of them had a good mind on his shoulders, you know, Stephen. I believe he was all right dude, decent. But nevertheless, he was enticed by the people he hung around. They was really about their life. They was doing what they was doing, and he, you know, wasn't able to be himself, be authentic. Let them know like this isn't me, this is my lifestyle. Even though we're friends or whatever the case may be, whatever their relationship is, it's all right to say no and to be different from your peers, from your friends, family, whatever, right? Because at the end of the day, now his reality is not his reality that he desired. It's what he was given because he's not giving himself time and courage to be himself and to think for himself and to be that light in the world. You know, in this dark world that we're living in, all the wickedness around us, that light is easily dimmed by our friends, our families, our co-workers, any and everybody who's not mentally aware of how they're affecting the community, what they're engaging in. It's easy to listen to all this, the murders, the you know all these wicked songs, watch the stuff on TV, but you need to discern the difference between entertainment and what's really acceptable in society and what's acceptable to as far as how you present yourself to others and with others and how you engage with your community and with others. It should have been like, okay, the rapping is cool, it's nice and all that, but I don't want to, you know, fill my mind up with this stuff so much to where it becomes a part of who I am. Stefan, on the one hand, it was like that wasn't him, but he fed his mind with it so much, he engaged with it so much, it started to become who he was. And when he realized, like, oh, I'm changing to a person I don't really want to be, it's too late. Now he's explaining, trying to explain in a way of, you know, communication is always 90% nonverbal. His body language and everything he was saying was, "It's not my lifestyle." And of course, eventually it came out. He said it out his own mouth, like, "I'm Stefan. I'm not the rapper that I'm pretending to be. I'm not the stuff that I'm pretending to be that I was becoming." Because it is who he is, right? You know, you can't say that that wasn't him because he was engaging with it, he was entertaining it, and he went with it. Nobody forced him to do anything. He just was living unauthentic. And being that way will make you be a send off, right? Because you're trying to people please. He's trying to please his friends, trying to please the people he's around, trying to please the people on social media. The reason why he kept doing it, and that's a very bad trap, you know. Trying to be viral, content creators, a rapper, a singer, an artist, actor, whatever, right? Doing anything for entertainment, getting so wrapped up in entertaining people that you forget who you are and entertain your own spiritual self, you know, your mental health, your growth, because when you're damaged, you're doing nothing but damaging other people. Those young men had no real guidance around, no one to really communicate to them about emotional intelligence, to help them deal with their pain in a proper, safe outlet. And it's sad, you know, it's really, really sad to see these people lose their lives as well, especially the young boy Noah, who's just walking around in the summertime. Looked like it was nice outside. They had on, you know, clothes like I have on now. So I just assumed that it was nice outside and he's out going for a stroll or walk or whatever around his neighborhood because he died outside of his neighborhood. They didn't even know the boy. That's even more sad. You know, you take somebody's life who's not even entertaining that lifestyle. And rest in peace to Noah and his family. You know, I don't want to put more trauma out there. It's out there. And that's a sad thing too, and it's a lot of pain with that. You know, people deal with stuff. They lose their life to the jail system. He loses his life to senseless violence and gang banging and stuff like that. And you know, they try to move forward. People try to move forward after a loss like that, tragic loss. Try to grieve. And even though it's a few years later, it's all over the internet now, and it's like reopening that wound. And it's healing on both sides, you know, because both people hurt. The family that lost their kids to this culture, this YN culture, this fast life entertainment, you know, the Dubai trips, the secrecy, all of this stuff that people like to throw in your face, but not tell you what really comes with it. And I just wanted to put this video out for awareness because, you know, it's a lot that come with this social media stuff, being a content creator, trying to be an influencer the right way, you know, staying true to who you are and why you doing what you're doing. It's like, it's not easy at all. Being a law, you know, sometimes you don't want to be bothered with the bullshit, so you have to stand alone. And you have to stand on your 10 toes down and let people know, like, you know, I'm not doing that. I'm not approachable for that, you know. I'm not that person. I'm different, like 2 Chainz. I'm different. Trying to people please, right? You get wrapped up in that shit, so wrapped up in it to where you can't get out. He was trying to please his friends, trying to please the people on social media, and eventually he entertained this wickedness, this glamorized lifestyle that wasn't really going to help him evolve and elevate to a brighter person, a higher elevation. You know, you think about all these guns and murders. I mean, the violence and all the stuff that you're glorifying. And like you said, like unless you're a army veteran or a sniper shooter or something like that, you're putting other people in danger. The op stuff and all that stuff, the culture that they pushing, that's a bunch of bullshit. It's a bunch of baloney. And a lot of people out here are so caught up in that lifestyle. God slows us down from time to time. He talks to us. He tries to warn us. He tries time and time again to reach us, but we don't want to hear that shit because it's not what the world is talking about. You know, who wants to hear about positivity all the time? Not a lot of people. That's why my videos, my situation is taking as long as it is because I'm pushing a different narrative than what the world is pushing. You know, I'm not posting a lot of videos about fights and violence, but what you do see is an example of what not to be, what not to engage in, and also how to protect your mind and how to have discernment. Misery comes in all forms of fashion. Those two that came to him was miserable. They seen that his life was a little different and he wanted to be the light, but he's an easy target. We could stay in his crib. We could put the guns at the crib. We got beef with people. You know what I'm saying? We gon' He got a friend named Adrian who would drive us around. So they was using the boy's stuff for his shelter, for his transportation, and maybe for his likeness because he was making little gangster videos or whatever, right? And that's how deceptors work. Deception. It could come in any kind of way. The small little thought, just like the negative stuff they're entertaining. It all comes with that, you know. There's a low vibrational activity. Don't nothing come from it but other low vibrational outcomes. And it's basically like what I like to talk about the house of manifestation. What you think about truly matters. What thoughts you entertain really matters. You know, the way you feel about things, it matters. And not to be allowing people to push your buttons, you know, to provoke you to violence. That's a scary situation to be in. I've been incarcerated before from being emotional unintelligent, allowing people to push my buttons and me responding and reacting in a violent way. You know, that's not cool. It's not nice. And also, it makes you look dumb in those situations. You can't tell who's smart. You know, it's a bunch of dumb stuff going on. And when they hit you with the no bond, that's a scary feeling as well. You now know you're stuck. Your reality hits different. Everything feels different. You start thinking about the things that really mean something to you and the things that you glamorize and entertain that don't mean anything, that was slowly but surely taking you off track and holding you up from achieving your dreams. You can't experience your dreams incarcerated or passed away, unalive, whatever word they want to use nowadays. It's all the same thing. They want to switch things around and keep changing it to make it look cool, but everything is really everything. There's nothing new under the sun. The gangster lifestyle, it just wasn't gangster at first. It was a rebel, a savage. These different terms and terminology they use to keep you in that loop, keep you in that vibration. And nothing really comes from that but sorrow, pain, grief, doubt, lack. And it's like, which way do you want it? And what form of fashion do you want it to come? You want it to come from your ops, the doubt, the lack, because the boy Terrell, he's no better than the people that actually did this. They want to beef, and he's entertaining that same nonsense, that same low vibrational activities. I'm a one person out here with a gun, however they was talking or whatever, right? Because the word got out. They all on Instagram and social media. And I don't believe they probably went over there to get some weed or whatever. I don't know. But I don't believe that that's the reason they went over there. I believe that and it's another video out as well. I should have played that one, but this one was better. The other video, basically what happened was they in the alleyway shooting this. They had it all planned out or whatever, right? They in a little 5 block radius. And then they zoom in or whatever into like a little square into like 2 blocks. But they come through the alley in 2 cars. And the boy was out walking around the block. It's a regular little neighborhood. The boy, Noah, rest in peace, Noah. And the boy Terrell, who started the mess. So this is what happened, right? That's what happened as far as the scenery and the action, the traumatization. But before that, they was at a basketball game that night. The same night, actually. They was at a basketball game, a high school game. They get into it or whatever. They talk their shit, they leave. As I already heard earlier that day, they was already like on some gang shit. They riding around with each other. Basically, like, that's what they do. That's what comes with the territory. It comes with that vibration of the ops, the gang, and all that shit. This is what comes with that stuff. Glamorizing the street life. You always gonna be into it with somebody. And like he was saying, I inherited that beef. You inherit a lot of shit when you engage in negativity. No matter if it looks cool or not, no matter if it's you the one that's being hurt or not. It's something people like to play with until it's not fun anymore or the tables turn and they're the victim of the situation. It was fun going to slide down on these people and try to hurt and harm them and threaten them. It seemed tough, right? Like he was saying, the police was saying, and he's absolutely true. You want to be a thug, you want to glamorize this bullshit, but now you want to act like you're not a man. You don't want to be responsible because it's consequence time, and everything you do has a consequence. Even lying, you know what I'm saying? Like not being authentic, being a liar. It's nothing good comes from being a liar. No sin is greater or small. All of it is frowned upon from our Lord Jesus Christ. Because you're stealing somebody's reality by lying to them. You're taking someone's desires and experiences from taking their life. You steal someone's joy from stealing from them. Different sins, they all are the same, and no sin greater than the next. It's just that it's easy to hit a quick lick. It's easy to not be accountable. It's easy to just stick with the crowd and go with the crowd and do what they're doing. It's easy to fit in, especially if you're going to please the people that you're fitting in with. But one thing about that is to just be mindful, like if you don't feel like you fit, you don't. And don't even try to entertain that thought anymore. Just go to where you're happy, you're safe, and you're able to create the experiences that you desire. That's a magical form of manifestation. When you be able to think about the things that you want and you can align yourself with that, those experiences come. The universe never give us nothing we're not ready for. And when you out here glamorizing that thug life, the gang, the YN shit, whether you know it or not, what you're doing is you're aligning yourself with what comes with that, which is jail and the hospital, if not dead. And one thing I'm gonna tell you about that, like they didn't even really realize the signs that God was telling them because before that night they did the shooting or whatever, they was already doing. They was already getting themselves ready to, accept their consequences. And it's sad, really, really sad. You can glamorize this stuff for a week, for a month, for however long, but eventually the time comes to where you see what comes with the shit and the consequences that really, really people not ready for. And it's just don't be a send off, man. Don't be like dude trying to please your friends and out here really not living your authentic self, being true to who you are, not being you. He was trying to be two people. And the reason why I brought that up is because we do this a lot, trying to please two people. We say we love Christ, we believe in Christ, but we don't get to know Christ. We don't try to mimic Christ, and we're trying to be like the world. It's pleasing the world and pleasing God, and it just don't work at the end of the day. It never will work. So you have to be firm on who you're going to serve. If you're going to serve the devil by glamorizing the negative stuff in the world, you've made a decision. And also, if you're going to not speak out about injustice and people doing things like that, you're also a part of the problem. Because, reach one, teach one, and leave none behind. Pretty sure a lot of people seen these young men out here, and they could have gave them an encouraging word of advice to steer them in the right direction. Shine a little light into their darkness, the darkness of their minds. You can't really have any light in there when you're glamorizing this bullshit and you think something's good going to come from it. It's the blind leading the blind. One blind person have a light, it's sparkly, whatever, but he still don't know where he's going because his eyes are shut and he has no real direction in life. And some people behind him that sees him, for the light that he has, they're blind as well because they don't know where he's going and he's don't know where he's going, and they're all eventually going to be slaughtered mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, because that man was broken. You can tell the way he was sitting there and his reality was really getting to him. His mental was like, why you not being yourself? Why you know what I'm saying? You have plenty of time to be yourself. Separate from the bullshit, not to engage in this shit. But now he has plenty of time to think about it to get his mind right. And that's just a warning to you all. No, protect yourself at all times, nevertheless. But don't go out here looking for problems. Don't go out here creating problems like the boy Terrell. I don't know if he started or what, but that night he definitely kicked it off, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't aware that he was going to get someone killed, if not by himself. I mean, he was trying to hurt somebody, right? But it didn't happen. But nevertheless, somebody did get hurt, and they manifested that to happen from glamorizing the violence. It's going to happen, whether it be you or somebody else. But they put that into the world, and unfortunately, it hurt someone else. So what you think about not only affects yourself, but those around you as well. The boy Noah, he had no clue that danger was lurking. But God took him out of that situation. Sometimes God will take us out of a situation like that because the bullshit that's around is just so much around. He wasn't going to have a fair chance anyway. Sad to say that. And rest in peace, Noah. Some people are just born in a bogus situation, a bogus environment where there's so much darkness around and everybody's following everybody and nobody wants to be accountable. Nobody wants to be a leader. Nobody wants to live righteous. Nobody wants to spend a little time getting to know Christ that we can mimic Christ and be just like Christ and, have a little more compassion in life and not to be out here like the world who wants to steal, kill, and destroy, as you see in many different ways and many different people, all cultures across the globe. It's nothing but destruction and chaos in different forms and fashion. And that's just how I see it, it's destruction on the young one's mind. The YNs. That's why that's a popular term nowadays, because who's going to guard their mind, especially if we're older individuals and we're just as blind as them. But this is not to down anybody, not to shame anybody, because we're all human and we're all flawed individuals. But we all have 24 hours a day to choose what we desire to do and to put that effort and energy into the world and to think about what we want to think about, entertain whatever thoughts we want to think about, because it's a constant battle of the mind. He was having battles in his mind as he was even struggling to tell the truth. It's a constant battle of the mind. The enemy always wants to throw you off from being authentic and from being righteous. even in the midst of his adversity, he's thinking about battling. He's battling himself in his mind, like, man, I want to be real, I want to be true, but at the same time, I'm this other person because I think about this stuff so much, I engage and entertain these thoughts so much that it's becoming my DNA. And you're going through a transformation, truly are. It's embedded in your DNA, and it's hard to change who you are once you're so wrapped up into something until you're conscious enough to know, like, okay, now what I'm wrapped into is not really healthy. But usually at that time, it's a little too late, like when you're addicted to sweets and snacks, and and like people telling you, because people have told you like a lot of sugary sweets is not good for your teeth. But whatever what they saying, right? I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna enjoy my pleasures, and now I need to go to the dentist because I'm having a toothache. That's exactly how this world is, right? We know until we don't know. And now it's like, oh shit, it's too late. I've been too caught up in myself and my ego and my pleasures of the world, seeking pleasures all the time. And it's like, damn, now I created a habit that just hurted me. And now I need to change my ways and start thinking about how I'm going to change those ways so it could become my DNA and I become a different person that has changed. People change so much that you won't even remember who they are. You don't even know who they are because it's in their DNA. And they're whole new beings. They come with a whole new light, whole new aura, whole new energy. And it takes time and energy to change and manifest these things. I just want to encourage you all to be mindful and to be courageously yourself, no matter if people accept you for who you are or not. And then that's a red flag as well. If they don't accept you, don't force it. You'll always be chasing people that don't want to be, bothered or who don't want to fuck with you like that. The thing about chasing after somebody, they're always going to be running. Don't keep chasing these crowds who's going to keep running from you and eventually lead you into a situation that you don't really want to be a part of, a reality that you really don't desire, but you have to deal with. I've learned that forcefully in my lifetime. Some things in life you just got to deal with. Like when I was sitting in jail, dealing with my pain and emotions from not being emotional intelligent and out here being impulsive, allowing people to get to my mind and just being a part of the world, not being a part of the solutions for myself. Spend time getting my mind changed, renewing up my mind so that it renew who I am internally and externally. And it shows what the things that I think about, the people that I engage with, and the activities that I partake in. It's a constant thing, just like the pursuit of happiness. It ain't nothing you achieve overnight. It's something you constantly pursue, and you get better and better over time. And it's just like, with anything, the more you practice, the better you get. And if you enjoy so far, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Share this video so some of the youngs, the YNs could have something else to think about. It's nice to hear this bang bang shoot 'em up stuff, the drugs and all this and that, but at the end of the day, you want to be fulfilled in life, not with just a little bit of clout, right? A little bit of praise, because that's what this world is turning into with all this social media stuff. Instant praise, instant gratification, instant success. But the truth is that stuff is not real. It's just entertainment. You don't know what people going through. You don't know what people doing. You don't know what they did to get what they got. Some people, they out here taking them trips to Dubai and they eating that stuff, and you know what I'm saying, being a human toilet bowl is crazy. But everything comes to the light nevertheless. So just be true to who you are and let that light shine. Well, peace and blessings from Team Angie. I'm team member Aaron Glenn, private personal consultant, also advocate for mental health awareness. You guys looking for tips and tools to manage stress and anxiety? Make sure you tap into my website, teamangieLLC.com. See you guys free blueprint on how to turn your dreams, your passions into profit. Start your own online business from launch to profit in 7 days. Also, I send out newsletters in that website, so you'll have access to my daily blogs. That's Talks with Team Angie, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Um, Talks with Team Angie, Tuesdays and Thursdays, my blog. I send it out through my newsletters. And yeah, that's how y'all could get that, be a part of that. I got everything on my YouTube channel as far as how I make money online. If you guys looking to start making money online today, I got on my YouTube. You want to go check out the $5 stocks, also the $5 surveys, the fever. If you guys got your own little niches or self-made, you have any skills you want to start putting out there for service people. Like I create websites, email lists, and content. I put that on Fever as a side hustle. If you guys looking for a side hustle, something like that, passive income online. I don't really do too much on that because I haven't been on there in a while. I'm focused on building other things, and it takes a little time, and I just need a little time to focus on that. So yeah. But whenever I'm in the gym and it's getting tough and tight, I'll get back on there and start doing those jobs with people. Um, just take a little bit of time to learn these high income earning skills. Live community, live mentorship is what I offer. Meet twice a week for mindset because mindset is very important with business and just lifestyle, period. Success is 90% mindset and 10% skills that anybody can learn at any time. I learned that from my mentor, and that was the best advice she gave. She gave a lot of dope advice. I mean, she's an awesome woman. Michelle O'Neill, Legacy Builders Program. Uh, I haven't been tapping in like I said. I got my own company to run, and my bad. I'm building right now. It just take a little time, but I already got my system automated. If you guys looking for how to get started in digital marketing, this is what I do. This is what I am doing. Marketing my company. Do it a lot of different ways. When you see me on the street, this is my painting shirt. I painted. I mean, not the shirt, the picture that's on the shirt. I painted, and I turned it to advertisement. It's a nice little situation, $900 daily pay blueprint. TeamAngieLLC.com. Yeah, I'm an artist and I enjoy what I do. I thank God for giving me this gift and I try to use it as much as I can. And I'm evolving with the way that I use it. I turned some of this into digital art, also accessories. You're gonna see a lot coming from merch coming out soon. But for now, I got digital art so that you can do as you please with it. Tap into your creativity. You can have keychains on my shit, uh, posters, cups, put it on your cups, make some stickers. That's the beauty of art. You can do so much with it. I just thank God for giving me a creative art. I mean, artistic mind to be able to see these things and put them out from time to time. And on my, this is a passion of mine that I turned into a profit. Still waiting to make that major profit. When a million people come by a few of my pieces, I'll be ecstatic. I just be listening to the universe and being direct with what I want. Like I want 1 million subscribers, and then I want a few $100 million and to teach a few hundred people how to make their first million. These are my dreams and goals and what I'm working on. Not that 1 million is anything to me, but it's a nice little goal. I mean, not 1 million, a few 100 million, like 300 million. That's it's a decent goal. I could do a little bit with that. Create some nice stuff. But that's what I'm working on, and you guys are gonna see. Also on the 25th, I'll be revealing a letter I wrote to myself. A letter I wrote to myself about why I'm doing digital marketing, what I want from digital marketing, and everything else about that. It's a way for me to stay mindful and to practice mindfulness. Getting it out of my mind, putting it on paper, and making it a reality. And once I read this to myself, it'll be like, okay, what have I been doing as far as accountability? Not saying that I haven't been trying to do what I'm doing. I'm still learning. I haven't been doing this my whole life. I just picked it up as an addition to Team Angie to keep my business going. Just like these people in the videos I show you, I was once like them, same mindset and everything. But it just took God's grace to be able to get my attention and to guide me. I ask God for guidance. I ask for forgiveness. You guys, spend a little time before you close your eyes tonight and just ask God for forgiveness. Forgiveness of the thoughts that you think that's wicked that you haven't committed. Forgiveness for, every little thing that's not righteous and holy. Because we fall 7 times, but we stand up even more. We're going to constantly fall throughout the day from our actions, from our thoughts, even from the things that we don't do. Sometimes not doing is doing. And that's a bad thing. You have information, but you don't use it. That's not doing, and that's not wise. You see somebody doing something that they can tighten up on, you can guide them with love, be patient with them, and help them. People out here hurting, and they showing it in all different ways, and they just don't know how to ask for help. Because when people do ask for help, we put them down. We put people in their business, and we do a bunch of negative bullshit, and that people don't be wanting to ask for help. People don't want to say how they're suffering because now it's a spectacle and it's a show. People want to be bragging about what they did. They want to put it on camera. They want to do the most. It's a lot of attention seekers in the world. That shit get irritating. Nevertheless, but I want to leave y'all with this wonderful message. This Bible verse about love. Read to my audience the Bible verse about love. 1 Corinthians chapter 13. The patience, the kinds, the ever changing. Say it one more time and a little bit louder. So yeah, that's the love that I want to give, the love I want to embody, the love that I envision, and the love that I want to share with you all. To be patient, to be kind, and to guide people the right way. Help shine light in this dark world because it is truly a wicked place. But there's a lot of beauty in this world. It's a lot of beautiful people in this world. We just overlooked and less cared about. Nobody want to hear your boring motivation talk.